functional and successful political institution that is. We are the stronger political party. We have stronger policies, we have a stronger performance, we have a strong team, and yes, we have the stronger leader. As you might have seen from advertisement in the media, Jamaica Labour Party will be holding its 81st annual conference in the coming days. We anticipate that Jamaicans will turn out in their numbers to final annual conference before a general election is held. Our annual conference will be chaired by our Deputy Leader, Desmond McKenzie. I now turn over proceedings to Desmond to update you on the mechanics of the conference.
Thank you, Chairman, General Secretary, and Chairman of our Communication Task Force, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. This media briefing is intended to engage and to inform the media and our Jamaican family about our annual conference, which is slated to take place this Sunday, November 24, at the National Arena. The public session of the conference will get underway at 10 a.m. We urge everyone attending conference, including the media and our supporters, to get to the National Arena very early. The conference will take place under the theme Active and Strong. Our conference will reinforce in no uncertain manner that the Jamaica Labour Party has been and is fully active in implementing policies which seeks to make the lives of the Jamaican people better. Our conference will enforce the fact that by virtue of the actions we have taken and will take to improve the lives of the mass of Jamaicans, the Jamaica Labour Party is without doubt a stronger political party. We have better policies, stronger team, and we have perhaps the greatest political leader of modern time, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. There are some information which is important to the smooth operation of our conference. No firearms or no weapons of any sort. Party supporters who are coming to conference who are firearm holders, the FLA has made arrangements for firearms to be stored at their head office if persons choose to do so. We will not be allowing any thing that could be considered dangerous inside the national arena. I want to also emphasize the symbol of the Jamaica Labour Party is the bell. The bell is the symbol of the Labour Party. And none of those horns. Guzizel, that's him. Guzizel are what the name is. I'm having problems in pronouncing it. We are not going to be permitting any such. It is the bell in the bell. The bell. The bell. We will be ensuring that party supporters have enough bells as possible. The media special attention will be given to the media. A designated media bank will be established for the sharing of files for the media to be allowed to capture content. There will be an area that is specially designed for party members and other officials to have their social media team. Therefore, there is no need for crowding of the front of the stage of this year's conference. I will not tell you what will happen, but when you come on Sunday, you will see something totally different. from what you are used to inside the national arena for conference. I am urging party supporters to ensure that they come out on time. I want to urge our supporters coming that it is a no-no to be riding on top of buses, to be hanging out of windows. I'm asking party supporters to cooperate with the security forces on their way to and from this year's conference. As the party chairman rightly said, this year's conference will definitely be the last one before a general election. And we want to put on a demonstration that will allow the country to continue to see the Jamaica Labour Party as the best option for this country. In closing, the Jamaica Labour Party was founded in 1943. The party emerged out of the labour movement and as prime defender of the rights of the people of Jamaica, including our workers. The party led by the most honorable Dr. Andrew Holness remains serious about attending to the business of the Jamaican people. We remain committed in fulfilling, in uplifting the lives of Jamaicans, in particular those who are poor and require the assistance of the states. We will not, ladies and gentlemen, in this year as we celebrate another major milestone, forget how this party came about. It was formed out of the belly of the working class people. We will continue to have a credible message. Our track record will speak for itself. We're not going to the national arena on Sunday with any sitcom, with any comedy. We're coming with a strong, clear message that will speak to the direction of the country. We're not into the gimmicks business. This is a party that is serious about our messaging, and we will stick on message. Our conference, therefore, will reaffirm the Jamaica Labour Party's fully active, that the party is fully active and serious about continuing the policies to make the lives of Jamaicans better and to uplift the Jamaican people. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, I want to urge Jamaicans in attending this year's conference to come to accept the message that will come from the leadership of the party, especially the message from our party leader, Dr. Andrew Michael Holness. I now open the floor. Sorry.
I'd like to at this point thank you, Deputy Leader Desmond and Conference Chairman. I'd like to invite the General Secretary, I believe the most successful General Secretary in our 81 years, Dr. Horace Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman. Jamaica Labour Party pre-conference activity signals the character of the party despite active and energetic. We have seen multiple divisional conferences, multiple constitutional conferences, which will conclude with the West Kingston Conference this Thursday evening. So the signal of the party's activity on the field. And in fact, those particularly outstanding this year. Energy is high among the Labour Party supporters who are coming to appreciate the effort of the leadership of the government through Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who has taken on the drive not only to establish economic stability in the country, but to ensure we have growth and a shared equity for all. Decided the foundation of the Labour Party outlined by the conference chairman were founded in the working class Bustamante took the workers from the cane fields and the banana fields to the boardroom and built into the fiber of this country the democratic principles. It was the work of the trade union that conveyed to the working class the message that democracy is an important part of our society and they would participate effectively. Our theme this year, Active and Strong, reflects the fact that our leadership and confidence level is active, very active, as outlined in the number of events that has resulted in such an active pre-conference season, and the same on a strong government. The Labour Party government that has led the country through successful critical moments. It's good to remind the party members this year that as we go into the final year of our term, it was the Labour Party that led the country into independence. The Labour Party that successfully took us through the first critical economic crisis when the bauxite industry fell apart in the early 80s. The contrast is well known, established what called things like in the 90s and the next financial crisis. In the COVID period, this recent government demonstrated a character of leadership and quality that is unequaled and parallel anywhere else. It was the most successful management of a pandemic that was the first in 100 years. There were no pre-written texts, there were no precedents, and Andrew Michael Honis, no Dr. Andrew Michael Honis demonstrated the character of leadership that was unparalleled. Led us through successfully. We have rebounded well. In fact, many people can in the country dealing with that COVID is another small issue as we proceed into the final year of term of this term. It is likely the conference that will be held last general conference before the general election, and it therefore is important to remind the country and our supporters, though active and strong, of the foundation which this party was built and its ability to take on the critical events and manage them effectively. The party leader have indicated clearly and will be carrying the message with distinction at the conference and moving now into the period of growth to ensure that there's greater shared equity. But we have started that prosperity. Country reminded when we took over the country, the per capita GDP was 5,000 US per head. Despite of COVID, and in spite of COVID, which are one years, the country's per capita GDP is not at 7,000 US. It's the first time we have that so significant growth in the economy, and it's a reflection of the government of the Labour Party to ensure that there's a movement from poverty to prosperity and social transformation. So we move into conference, active and strong, active leadership at all levels, active Prime Minister. I think there is no question that our Prime Minister has demonstrated energy and commitment across the country dealing with issues that affect people. His commitment to social transformation is noted and have been practiced by all agents of government. Politically, we have conducted a number of audits across the country. We have not indulged in the polling game, but we have in fact monitored our constituency. We have audited many of them and provided them with a work program to ensure that they will take the organization aspect of the party to the required level. We will not move into the new year, the new political year, with any weaknesses anywhere. The party leader have given the secretary the instruction, and a general secretary is moving to aggressively implement the political program. Conference ends the political year, the beginning of next political year. And therefore, the momentum on which we leave conference will be carried through into the new year. And we can assure the country we'll be taking our message to every corner of Jamaica. And we'll be touching base with all our workers to ensure that they understand the program of the Labour Party by Andrew Honis. On that basis, we vote the vote when the party leader decides it's appropriate to ensure that the work of the government is progressing to a third term to ensure there will be continued movement of our people from poverty to prosperity. An active and strong government that will lead in social transformation and greater equity for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, General Secretary. Before I ask Dr. Dixon to come in, I'm going to go back to Deputy Leader Mackenzie for a brief word.
Yes, Chairman, thank you. Just for the information of the media and for the general public, there will be traffic changes around the National Stadium facility. Those traffic changes, those announcements will be made by the police, and I want to urge persons coming to the stadium for the conference to ensure that the arena that well, it's not bad if we had to move to the arena, so to the stadium. So we're making that arrangement just in case we have to go there. But it is important that persons coming to the arena pay special attention to the traffic advisory that the police will be putting out and the other advisories that will assist persons coming to our party conference.
Thank you. May I now turn over to the chair of our communication task force, Dr. Dana Morris.
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning to all who are here, and especially our valued media partners. From all that we've seen around all of our constituencies at our constituency conferences, I think it is very clear that anticipation is building for our conference, which will take place under the theme Active and Strong. The main address at conference will come from our party leader, Dr. Andrew Holness, and he'll give a comprehensive update to the nation on how his administration has and will continue to intensify the pace of delivering on the mission to achieve economic independence. And just this week, he spoke about the pivot that we're taking as a country, where we're focusing on economic growth and all the policies around that. And he will give more details in terms of how we're going to ensure that this goal of prosperity is real for every single Jamaican. The conference will also feature a lot of addresses from many speakers who will update the country on the tremendous work and the progress that has been made by the Jamaica Labour Party administration in various sectors. So we'll be hearing about the achievements in health, in transport, in technology, in foreign affairs, agriculture, water, along with labor and social security. We'll hear more about how the administration is actively putting policies in place to further address their concerns. We have done much, we've done a lot, but we recognize there's also much more to do, and we'll talk about that work that we will be continuing to do. The conference is also going to be highlighting the fact that the Jamaica Labour Party is a modern political party, which is active and strong on issues including skills training, youth empowerment, women's rights, and protecting the society's most vulnerable. And on that matter of women, I mean, when you look at our party, you see a party that is really embracing women. Looking in the cabinet, you see a lot of women. When I look at what's to come in terms of the next generation of leaders, there's so many women there. You have Kerencia Morrison, who is one of our strong up-and-coming leaders, Rhoda Moore Crawford, Tova Hamilton, Tamika Davis, Anne-Marie Vaz, Crystal Lee, and the list just keeps going on. And that's a modern party that is about everyone being included in there. And so even if we look at the lineup of speakers, you're going to see many women on that list. And so the conference will leave no doubt that the Jamaica Labour Party is best equipped to deliver for the people of Jamaica. And the conference will reinforce that the Jamaica Labour Party remains committed to its core mission of taking tangible steps to improve Jamaican lives and to guarantee prosperity for all Jamaicans. And so we urge you, all the supporters, to come out early, show up in your numbers. We know you're already very excited, and support your respective members of parliament, councillors, and caretakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. But just before I take question, I just want to remind persons that on Sunday it is the public session of the party where certain administrative matters has to be dealt with, the election of the leader and the deputy leaders, and then the conference cycle, as the General Secretary indicated, begins the following Sunday, December 1st, when the Central Executive meets to elect the other officers of the party. And then we begin our political year, which is going to be a very, very important year for the Labour Party and for Jamaica. That being said, Are there any questions? Because we're really bubbling with excitement. We want to get to the arena, get to our constituencies, carry out the people. Because Deputy Leader has challenged us that we should reserve the National Stadium just in case. Any questions? Yes, sir. Name and media house.
Or to exactly say, the review of the activities and the status of organization in the constituency within the audit. Both numbers, some surveys and polls, as well as the structure, requirements that we lay out. We have a consensus structure expected in place that is of good quality and working effectively. And the Secretary does that periodically. This, of course, is more critical because it's not only prepared for the electoral process, but it also tells you how effective the member of Parliament is in interfacing with the MDs to ensure that the constituents are served well.
And just to follow up on that question, it is a requirement, it is in the party's constitution that audit be done by the secretariat and the organization. So it is something that is written within our constitution. Let me make it clear. The symbol of the Jamaica Labour Party is the bell. The other people don't know it. I don't know what their symbol is, but it is the bell that is the symbol of the Jamaica Labour Party. Freedom. The bell of freedom. And we are urging supporters that it is the bell. And the bell will be insisting as a party has to remain as our symbol, and nothing else can replace the symbol of the Jamaica Labour Party.
So good, that good vibes.
What do you think is within that initiative that will not only notice the undecided voters, but maybe even people of color that support
Thank you for that question, Mahiri, and it's a good one. If you listen to the Prime Minister's speech on Aspire, it was a tangible speech. It laid out a true development plan for Jamaica. And it went into detail about the key areas that would be of focus to taking us to that promised land that we know we can get to as Jamaica. And so I think when Jamaicans look at this new initiative, this pivot, which is about economic growth, you will see that it is actually one that is based in tangible things. Because sometimes you have individuals saying, for example, that it's time for a change. But it has to be more than that. You have to have real policies, real plans for the future. And I think what the Prime Minister rolled out on Tuesday and spoke about on Tuesday was a real tangible plan for the development of Jamaica. And I think he did it quite eloquently. It was very simple. Anyone could understand it. And it had the components that all of us think about as what will take us forward. So it had human capital development, people development. This is the party that truly believes in people and giving power to the people, giving prosperity to the people. That's us. It's us. We're reclaiming that. We are the party that is about people. And so you saw that there. You saw the focus on crime, where we've been doing quite a lot of work. Crime has been coming down. And there's that emphasis there on that. Diversifying the economy. We went into details around all the new sectors that we will be focusing on as a country. And then not to leave out social protections, because we understand that we're in a country where a lot of people do not necessarily have the resources to help themselves. And so what we're doing as a country and as an administration is focusing on the most vulnerable. And I think that whole laying out of that plan was a good one. And I think Jamaicans who would have heard it and listened to it would have heard a vision for Jamaica that they would be able to see themselves in.
Okay. Yes.
We were watching you obviously say these are the initiatives, but why not earlier? So we may take it as a sort of political links to the other learn of. Okay, start from the front.
Yes.
Right, Dr. Nixon, thank you. Partly of that, to follow up your answer just now, persons will see these policies and say these are obviously good policies which will help people in the country, but persons would also ask why not earlier, given all the issues in the country. Some would interpret it as a sort of political, backing of things as well.
No, absolutely not. That's not the case. I think, as the Prime Minister was very clear on Tuesday, we've had to spend our time in terms of getting economic stability. That was the goal, because for so long we were seen as the economic basket case, not just in the region but in the world. We were one of the worst performing countries. And so we had to spend time to stabilize the country by focusing on getting our debt down. That was the priority. And what he said on Tuesday was, guess what? Mission accomplished. That was hard work. And we had to do it. And now we're done doing the stability. You cannot build a house on shaky grounds. So we had to have the foundations right. And now that we have the foundation right, mission accomplished, JLP administration, now it's time for us to look at growing the economy. And that's what he laid out.
Yeah, second question. The party leader did raise concern over representatives of the party, whether it be MPs or councillors, maybe not performing up to the level at which they need to, saying that he's probably going to have to give them a pep talk at some point. Is this a concern that you share as well? And if yes, do you think it's something you can solve before the next general election?
I'm going to ask Dr. John, the General Secretary, to treat with that. Today, party leader has raised the issue, because what must happen is that there has to be effective leadership at all levels. The leader has national respect, but representatives, councillors, and members of the party are expected to provide quality leadership at the local level. And he has expressed some concern. That's why we have done the audits to examine carefully that the constituency structures are in place, they are functioning effectively, so we can in fact provide guidance to members at that level. We have been doing this periodically, but we have to do it this year more aggressively, so that the constituency will understand that the effective leadership at the government level will be transferred to the local level. Indeed, there's no saying all politics is local. While the economy is doing well, unless the members of the constituency who will vote for the respective member of parliament can get the feeling that yes, I am better off with this leadership, we will not have the success we have. As I said, I've done a number of audits, and we're doing more, and we're working with the various MPs. I'm confident we'll get the message out there. And the one is leadership in the outstanding feature of this government. We'll take the party and has led it from the last 10, 12 years, in particular with his leadership in government in 2016 has been outstanding. To share effective leadership that took us through the critical moments, and we have to ensure our next line of leadership, the consensus level, can not only appreciate this, but conduct themselves in a similar manner. Effective, strong, active, and integrity.
Chairman, just allow me. Vuvuzela, let me just say this. It is not anything personal. If you would notice that a survey has been done and it has found out that it has serious implications on hearing, and a number of organizations, including FIFA, has banned the use of it in certain places, and we are taking a similar step to ensure that the safety, the health of our supporters and those who are there covering the conference is protected. So I want that to be clear. We're not cutting any small man out of any business. we're protecting the welfare of supporters and those who will be inside the national arena on Sunday.
Dr. Chan, for what is expected in the final conference before a general election, normally the Jamaica Labour Party will roll out its 63 candidates. Can you give us an update of what's happening in St. Andrew North Central and Clarendon Central?
I noticed, Arthur, that I noticed, Arthur, you started to chair the press conference. You directed your question specifically at Dr. Chan. But I'm going to allow Dr. Chan.
It's because it's the secretariat, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
but I'm going to allow him.
We're coming to the conference.
I know, I'm going to allow him.
But Arthur, repeat this.
Odie, can you repeat the question?
Can the secretariat tell us what's happening in St. Andrew North Central and Clarendon Central? And your colleague over there is in Manchester North.
Clarendon Central, represented by Mr. Mike Henry, Mr. Mike Henry OJ, and St. Andrew North West, North Central, represented by Member of Parliament Carson Wood, also another of the longest serving member in Parliament. But Mr. Mike are sharing the tape together. Both will not contest in the next election, but and the selection process will chip in at some point before. It's a discussion that is ongoing. This is the last conference before the general election, yes, but it's still 9-10 months away. In the life of politics, it can be a long time. It is Sir Holloway who said in the UK, one day in the life of politics is a very long time. Both consciences are strong, both are stable, have effective organization, so we don't have a challenge in identifying the flag bearer at any point in time. In the case of Northeast Manchester, there is some contest which reflects the energy in the constituency. But as I said, we are currently going to general conference with a focus on carrying out a successful conference to ensure our message will resonate across the country. We will then look to see quickly at how we settle the leadership for all the constituencies as we go into the new year.
Constituency chairman, now through you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Constituency chairman. Conference chairman. You can share with us what's this conference going to cost the Jamaica Labour Party this year?
We're looking this year at a cost somewhere around $75 to $76 million for the staging of this year's conference.
PVJ?
Any other matter at the there being none, I wish everyone a good rest of the day. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. And of course, for your support, Marley. Thank you immensely.
8 percentage points. How convinced are you that the policies of the last 4 years, some of the policies announced Tuesday, and the policies coming in, going into the general election year, will be enough to cover this ground and give the JLP a third term?
The poll, as I said, is a picture of the state of the political arena at a particular point in time. A number of polls is being done recently at specific times and moments, I think, designed to obtain particular results. National polls also have to be carefully looked at. I'm not going to criticize the polls that I've used them before, but you can direct and look at it both in time and space, that the number will shift around a little bit. We are not unduly concerned by those polls. We use polls internally, not for campaigning. So we have done polls, and we have done polls that we have confidence in, which can guide our process of work in the constituency, which is more important process to look at the opinions, the thinking of the various demographics, and combine that with the surveys we do and the other auditing work we do to ensure we can get our message to the sectors that we want to get to and in the constituencies we are looking at. So we're going forward. We're not going to be distracted by the polls that were published. I think they're done with some strategic value in mind and almost a campaign tool. We don't use it as a campaign tool. We use it as a instructive activity So we combine it with other analytical work, which includes, as I said, the examination of the constituency organization, the activity of the candidate, the issues that are raised by the various sectors in the community, because that today is important. Communication has changed dramatically in the last decade in particular. So in fact, the Jamaicans have various groups that have special interests that has to be regarded, has to be recognized, and we have to find a way to communicate to them directly on the issues. At the same time, too, yes, the bigger issue is that you also tend to vote as a country because the communication is altogether. And so does the logistics. It's not easy to live in Ocho and work in Kingston or Montego Bay with the highway, which is improving. So the concept of a national constituency is there. People tend to vote for the leader. So we recognize all that factors, and we have to ensure we get all the data available, and then we make our decision. We will, of course, we're looking at polls that they're published later on, and we'll commission polls too that we'll publish. At this point in time, our interest in polling and auditing is this, which is polling is only one component of the audit, is to get a better sense of what the sectors in every constituency are saying, age groups, economic groups, and different groupings within that constituency. So we are going forward confident that we will get our message to the people. I have great confidence in the good sense of the Jamaican citizen who understand governance. We are one of the oldest democracies in the world, something we tend not to pay attention to, and sometimes we tend to, in fact, defeat ourselves by belittling the work. Jamaica is one of the oldest and strongest democracies in the world because the very humble people believe in democracy. They are politically sensitive and they know what's in their best interest. And the Labour Party has just conveyed that message, and I'm confident we'll go forward victoriously. Thank you.
One last question. We know that the general elections are constitutionally due soon, but even before that, even leading up later, we're going to have some by-elections. How confident are you that the JLP will take victory? It's not just members of parliament, but also councillors vying for seats. How do you think it's going to go for the JLP?
I'm going to ask Deputy Leader Mackenzie and then the General Secretary to address us.
Well,
Since one set is local government and one set is parliament.
I am pretty confident of the two parish council municipal elections. I have been in both Morant Bay and in Indian Town, and I can say to you that the strength of the party in terms of its work on the ground is at a very high level. And I'm expecting great things for the Labour Party in those two by-elections come tomorrow. I think people have a greater appreciation, especially in Morant Bay, of what the government is doing and the lack of proper representation that they have been receiving under the previous administration that represented them in terms of the council. So I am pretty confident of a real great improvement for the party in those two municipal divisions. And the other division where the councillor Townsend lost his life, and I, again today as we go into conference, want to express again, as I've done before, on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party, to his family and supporters, our deepest condolences. Once that has been recorded in the minutes of the municipal corporation, then we will look to the next step as to quickly ensure that division is taken care of as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Chairman. We have two constituency elections, matter of general elections, Northwest St. Andrew, and of course South Trelawney. There is no doubt that the Labour Party will have retained the members of Parliament, but I think it's good to take a look at it because the activities of the opposition, though, they reflects their tendency to look for cheap shots and gimmickry to attract the attention of people. They indicated they are not contesting the election, but the contestant in South Sudan is a former PNP councillor, and in fact was the PNP candidate up until very recently, a caretaker, if they wish to use. In the case of St. Andrew, they have selected a former Speaker of the House and a former candidate to contest and say they're independent. Some may say that's an attempt to draw out the Labour Party, was not a reflection of a mature person in a democracy. It's an element of gimmickry and mischief, literally, and a disrespect for the constituents. And that disrespect will be responded to quite strongly by the constituents. They'll come out and support the two candidates, Mr. Dwayne Smith and Ms. Marissa Dalrymple, in the two constituencies. And I think that will impact the mood of the constituents in the two divisions, which, as the Minister of Local Government indicated, the party organization, the Jamaica Labour Party organization is strong, working assiduously, and will look towards for successes come tomorrow, right? So we are, but we are very critical of the view that they're taking in terms of the constituency they are in, because I don't think we should treat our democracy, as I've indicated and said in the previous question. Jamaica has a strong, bold, and very credible democratic process. If we play with it, we can lose it, and we can damage it. None of the two main political parties should take any action that could undermine the strength of our democracy. And their gimmickry in the two constituencies, I think, can do damage to our democratic process. But the Labour Party will have two strong members of Parliament, which will protect the right of the people and bring the quality representation that will assure them of continuous representation and confidence in our democratic process.
Thank
They did a tour of Canaan Town recently, and she told the media that she was being told by residents that there are allegations of vote buying within the division from the other side. I just wanted to know if there's any response that the JLP has to those allegations.
Well, the Jamaica Labour Party really don't know anything about vote buying. There may be other organizations that are steeped in it and have the expertise, but it is not the Jamaica Labour Party. In thanking you for being here, just a summary. Remember that on Sunday, November 24th, it's our 81st annual conference. It begins precise, sharply at 10 a.m. We are emphasizing that the bell is our symbol, and the overzealous for a number of reasons, including health reasons. We want to discourage its use. We want to remind persons that there will be traffic changes and they should be guided by the relevant authorities. We are appealing to our supporters and members and delegates to obey the rules of the rule. We don't want to see any laborers hanging out of any buses, sitting on top of any buses, because we want them to get to conference and to get back home safely. Our party leader, the stronger leader, will be delivering and updating the conference and the country on the policies and programs, highlighting the achievements and outlining the policies that he will be undertaking to help the poor and vulnerable in our society. 1st of December, Central Executive to complete the cycle of the election of officers. And the JLP will be on show on Sunday. And we want to put on a good show for the people of Jamaica. We're looking forward to seeing you tonight in West Kingston for the final constituency conference in mobilizing towards the annual conference. So on Sunday at 10 o'clock, we'll be on all traditional and social media platforms to take the active and strong message right across the length and breadth of this world, not only Jamaica, because Jamaicans are found everywhere. Thank you all very much and see you on Sunday.
And then there will be a special after conference outside of the arena Sunday. I won't give details on that, but something special outside after conference is over on Sunday.
So beat me up, Scotty. Thank you all very much.